Hello everyone, my name is Saubhik Singh. I am working as a software engineer here at Velotio. My expertise in Golang, Python, and Rust. I like to do experiment with Rust and Python. So what is the agenda for this video? The agenda is what is AWS Lambda? What is the Rust? I'm going to give a very brief introduction about the Rust because it's a very vast topic. We cannot cover it in 10 minutes video. Why Rust with AWS Lambda? So there are seven or eight already supported runtime that has been provided by the AWS. So why do you want to choose Rust for your custom runtime? So we're going to talk on that, and at the last, I'm going to give you a quick demo about that. So what is AWS Lambda? A serverless function as a service. So a service that has been offered by the AWS. So basically what you can do, you can just keep your function there, just piece of code as a function, put it over the AWS, and when you hit it with the event, then this function will be called and your answer or the result will be returned to you. So what is the main features? It's event driven. So it's not always running like EC2, basically the VM, or not always close. So you just it's just a piece of code. There are cold start and hot start. So you can choose, there are two terms that is used oftenly. And event driven means whenever you hit this particular thing, maybe it can cold start if it's not there running, or if it is already running, then it can give you from there only. So that's the event driven thing. Focuses on the business logic, so you don't have to set up a lot, very large and complex infrastructure to just run your application. You just have to run your application, just focus on the business logic, rest infrastructure, and everything will be managed by the AWS. It's cost effective because it's not always running, so you're not paying. You're only paying the milliseconds that your application or seconds your application have run, and the calculation it has done. So it automatically scales also. So in every infrastructure is, and this total infrastructure is managed by the AWS. So this could automatically scale. You don't have to worry about anything. This piece of screenshot has been taken from their official website. So you can just pause the video and see what how does it work. So what is Rust? So a language empowering everyone to build reliable and efficient software. This line has been taken from their official page. So what it means, basically a language which is as fast as C. It is its performance is compared with C and C++, and as fast as C and C++, but it prevents you on the compile time. It does not have any GC for the fact I'm telling you. So it compiles time, prevents you from lets you prevent you from doing some nasty things that are due to the memory bugs. So a general purpose language is created by Mozilla. Why Rust is gaining popularity? Because it's very, very fast and prevents you from a lot of bugs that can occur and do some nasty things and undefined behavior. So those things can be prevented at compile time, not even the runtime. So, and it does not have a GC. So also, and this piece of screenshot has been taken from their official website. So you can see where it is gaining popularity and a lot of things, performance, reliability, and productivity. You can pause the video and read if you want. The main features obviously consist of high performance with memory safety. So it provides the performance compared to C++, but it guarantees you the memory on the compile time. It will not allow, there is something called ownership and borrow checker model. This is the second point. Unique borrow checker model. Rust is by default memory safe language and uses borrow checker model for that. So there's a kind of ownership thing, like you have every object, even the primitive things that you create, has an owner, and it cannot go. And this ownership model works even the multi-threading application. So even if you're multi-threading application, you are safe. You can do the fearless concurrency for that. No GC, no GC has been provided, and no manual memory management. The memory management is done on the compile time using this ownership model, and no GC at all is given. The fearless concurrency we have already talked. Last but not the least, the build tools has been provided. There is something called Cargo, which is close to NPM if you are coming from the JavaScript ecosystem. So it's something Cargo is provided, and you can add dependency, a lot of things, running testing, all those things can be done using the Cargo. So why Rust? Why do we want to create our own custom runtime on the AWS, not using the existing ones? So voted most loved language 5 or 6 times in a row. If you talk about the 2022, 6 times in a row. So people are loving this language due to it's safe and it's very fast, and a lot of application is there that you can use of. AWS Lambda Battle 2021, a benchmark has been run by Alexander Filinskin. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. So there are 6 languages, has been total 8 languages has been taken. Graal, VM, and Rust are the outside and the custom runtime, and rest all are officially supported by the AWS. And if you see, the Rust is beating all of them, especially when the application grows and it's a cold start. There is again one chart for the cold start. You can pause the video and compare if you want. Okay, so now it's time for the put our hands on. So prerequisite is that you should have a machine that has a internet connection, and you should have an AWS account and Rust version installed. I have 1.60, so you can try with that one also, or 58 is also fine. 1.58. Let me walk you through the code then. So this is the code. You don't have to be very expert in the Rust for that. It's just a basic Rust, and I'm going to tell you line by line what I've done. So this is the dependency. It's like a pack. This is the cargo.toml file. It's like package.json in npm, and there are 4 dependency we are using. This Lambda runtime is basically used for because it is not officially supported. So to run our application, we need this one. And there is a Tokyo. Tokyo is basically asynchronous runtime provided for Rust, and Serde is a serialization library for that. Let me go to the main.js. What are we doing here? So here I've created handler function. As you know, a handler function is the first that is called, but here we need a main function as well because it's not officially supported yet. So what we do, we make asynchronous using this Tokyo, and then we make a service function out of our handler function, and then we make a lambda runtime as run, and then provide our function as thing, and then we await. Await is just a async await thing. And at the end, we are returning the enum, the saying that there is no error. And let's go to the handler. Handler takes a lambda event object, and it returns a result and the result value and the error. So we take out the event and the context. Lambda event also contains the context, so we don't need this context. So we're just taking it out. So we need this event. So from the event, now we are taking the first name and last name. So this handler actually does, you give the first name and last name, and it runs hello first name last name. So we take out the first name and last name, and then we return the JSON saying message format as hello first name and last name. So this is just a very simple piece of code. You can try it out by yourself and maybe try it out with DynamoDB or something, putting some data or there or something like that. So okay, so this is just a piece of code, and then what we are doing, I'm working on the Linux, so I'm working on the Mac. So for the Mac, we need Docker. Because we want to run this on the Amazon Linux too. So to run this thing, we'll have to package this on the Linux. So I have a Mac. I am going to use Docker for that. So I've written a very simple package.sh file, which you can just source. So you don't, I have already run it, so I'm not going to run it, but you can just source package.sh, and then you have to run this build package function. One, I've done it already. I have this lambda.zip file, so I'm not going to run it. And then you have to run zip package. So 2 things you'll get after running this zip package, you'll get this lambda.zip. And then once you get this lambda.zip, then you can just go to this application and upload from there zip file, and click the upload and select your zip file from there. I've already uploaded, so I'm not going to upload it again. Once it is successfully uploaded, create an event where you have to give the first name and last name, and then save the event. And if you run it, so if I run it, see, we are getting this message, hello, Saubhik.sing. So this is a very basic application that I'm showing you. Maybe you can do pretty complex thing, or you can try out something else. Do let me know what you guys tried, and then did you succeed, or did you face some error or something like that. So thank you so much for watching this video.